and gentlemen, welcome back to TLT Talks. Today is a very special day. We have an amazing guest for you. Actually, I just celebrated, for those of you that might have seen, my 10-year anniversary at Compass. And this guy was absolutely invaluable with my time there. And so, hang on one second. Here's his request. Almost. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome. Almost there. There we go. Mr. Matt Spangler.
Hey, what's up, my friend? Good to see you.
Likewise. I'm always saying the hardest part of doing the whole show is not the content. It's not the getting of the guests. It's just getting them on the show. It's always so nerve-wracking. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? It's so silly. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce Mr. Matt Spangler. My man's resume is so deep and so long, I have to read it off of my notes. Executive entrepreneur with 20 years plus experience in business and marketing. He led all of brand and marketing at Compass. He was the first marketing hire. He did that for just about a decade. He went from 40 employees to the #1 independent real estate company worth over $8 billion in revenue. To those that may not know, Matt Spangler is actually the father and mother of the name Compass. It was Urban Compass. And Matt came in and said, no more. It's Apple, it's Chase, it's Google, it's Chop to Urban.
That's right.
Let's go, Compass. Mr. Spangler, first of all, what a dope human you are. Let's just start there.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, my man. And I could speak the entire show. I'm such a fan. But let me pass it to you. Anything you want to share by yourself to our audience now, or to the 100,000 people or so that are going to see this later? Share a little about yourself, man.
It's a great story too. Like the Compass naming story was a great one. But one of the amazing things, like during that time frame, I remember when I was trying to convince Robert and Ori to change the name of their company. This was like before they hired me. I was like, guys, I'm not going to join unless you do this. And I said, there's no other companies out there that own the name Compass. Like this is just like you said, Apple. When you look up a business in Apple, it's one company. And I went last week to refresh my Compass app and when I searched for Compass in the App Store, it was like the original Compass. That was like the thing that Apple put, like the actual working compass, and us next. And I thought, like, awesome. It actually did it. I was like, I used that example. I said, when people will search for a compass, like, you want to be the only company in the world
so awesome.
that takes that spot and that name. So it's, it was a great to, like, it was a good reminder of that long journey.
Yeah, man, so cool. You know, the ultimate, I say this all the time. We're going to get into marketing and branding, all that stuff. I say the ultimate success of a company's marketing and or branding is when you become a verb, right?
Yeah,
like
totally.
A verb or a noun or an adjective. Right? Do you have a Bounty? Do you have a Kleenex? Let's Uber it. Let's Google it. You know, and so I think Rufkin and company are doing such a great job. And someday it's going to be like, oh man, I need to find a house. Just Compass it.
That's right.
You know, just Compass it someday.
So it's great to see some fun faces. I see Lena on there, Lena Johnson on the. So hi to her. She was a great member of the team for many years.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, since Compass, I've been doing I left Compass in 22, Gene, and I've been doing fractional CMO work. So wanted to diversify and start working with other founders, bring some of the expertise that we built up at Compass to help other businesses succeed. And so I've been working with tons of great founders for the last 2 years.
Love it.
And also been going back and building, coursework and coaching for agents to return to the community and just continue to help agents build their business.
I love it. Well, as a member or a student of this guy's for many years, officially and unofficially, let me say, whatever he puts out, do it. And to the CEOs out there that get to spend some time with this guy, you're lucky. Whatever you're paying, it's not enough. You're very lucky. So let's dive into it, man. Let's dive into it. So I feel like marketing is this broad, general term that people use incorrectly. So let's just start basics 101. I find all genius is taking complicated things and making them simple. So what is marketing? What is branding? Very 101. Give us your thoughts on these things.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's it's overwhelming, right? When people talk about the idea of marketing, because it can just be so many things. But I think I try to explain to people, like, the way I view it is pretty simply, like, marketing is really people, how they find out about you, right? So you're putting a message out into the world. No one knows you exist. You have to put a message out to let them know who you are and what you do, etc. But branding is why they choose you. So once you have a message that appears, like, why would someone choose you over the myriad of other options that they have? Now, that's true of real estate agents, of companies, of brands, of all kinds, of any product. And so you can't really have one without the other, right? Because, like, every message you put out, someone's going to make some sort of decision on you. That's branding. Like, they're going to make a decision why they choose you to either engage with you or not. And marketing is simply just like the act, the work of putting your messages out so that people are aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, so smart. You know, often when we train or coach marketing on our team to real estate agents or even ourselves when we're thinking about our marketing, you know, I think of brand kind of synonymous with image. And it's like, if you were to go interview 5 random people that know me and you were to ask them, tell us about Eugene, they might say X amount of things. That's my image. That's my brand. It's like the real estate we take up in people's mind, no pun intended. That's right. And then marketing would be, okay, we do Instagram and social media and or Facebook rather, I meant, and a website. Those are the vehicles. The marketing is like the vehicles, and the brand's like, what are you known for? Like, who are you? Right?
And your events, your dinners, your every meeting you do, every kind of every email that you send out to some degree, right? Is you have to be thoughtful about, like, this is an aspect that someone is getting information about something that I'm doing. And what's the perception they take away from that?
That's so clear. Thank you. So for those that might be watching, just have that clarity. When you say marketing, that's not your image. That's the vehicles. That's the what you're doing to transport or to disperse your image. But your image, your brand is so critical, and it can take a lifetime to build a brand. And no shade or anything, but as the Alexander brothers are learning now, it could take an instant to ruin your reputation. An instant, you know, like, so just be careful. You know, I say my kids are 9. I don't have to deal with Instagram and Facebook and TikTok just yet. But I'm getting ready for all the conversations. And it's like, you know, when we were kids growing up, if you did something bad, okay, maybe you got picked on, maybe there was a school rumor. That was the worst of it. Today, if you do something bad, and bad means any number of things, for everyone, you know what that means, make it your own meaning. But everything lasts now because someone gets it on camera, it goes on Instagram, it goes on Facebook, that's it. Like, so you just have to be so intentional today about what you allow the world to see to protect your image, whether you're a company, an individual, or a 12-year-old kid in junior high school. You know, your image is so easy to damage, and you just got to be really intentional about what you do out there. So actually, that's a really good transition into importance. Why is marketing so important? We have so many folks that maybe look at that as the thing that falls to the wayside regularly, when in fact, I think that's crazy. But anyway, so let me ask the expert. Tell us, why is marketing so important, especially in today's marketplace?
Well, just feeding back into what you said, it's the reason why business works or succeeds, period. Like in every business, right? Because people are making a choice about why to work with you. And that is, in many cases, the brand and the marketing message you put out. You've got to have a great product. Now, for the agents, in many cases, product is yourself. Product is the ability that you have. It's your listings, it's the work that you've done, it's your reputation, etc. And so there's massive choice out there, Eugene. So marketing is more important than ever, marketing branding today, because in everything, you know, listen, Madison Avenue in the Mad Men era, you used to be able to control an image. There was only a couple places you could communicate. You went to magazines, went to TV, etc. But now, with the kind of 24/7 media capabilities, you control really the ability to, like, form a relationship with people. And that's why it's more important than ever, because today marketing is forming a deep relationship with people and building that trust. And so, it's 2 things I don't see agents think about. Like, one, like, think about how other people are doing this in other areas, right? Like, so often everyone in real estate gets so myopic, like looking only at, like, real estate agents in the industry. And I would say, like, take a look back, like, how are other people building their brands, right? So one is, people talk a lot about the why with things.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing it? Why did they start this company? Why are they leading this? People follow
Mm-hmm.
the why. I rarely see agents talk about
So true.
why they're doing the things they do. What is the inspiration they have for this thing? What's the meaning of it that they have? How is it impacting other people's lives?
Yeah.
And it's all about like, I sold this thing, I see, and there's
I'm number one. I'm number one.
yeah, there's no, why are you doing this? Why should I, want you? And then two is this idea of being experts, right? Like people follow other people listen, people buy products from people who are experts in that area. If you're a doctor, you want to go to an expert in that doctor. You want to go to the best lawyer. You want to go to the best. And I don't see, again, these agents I coach a lot, like this idea of, great, you sold that thing, but what is it about your expertise that you can share with other people to really market and build your brand that gives them a reason to choose you?
Oh God, so I love that so much. So just to riff on that, when Robert Reffkin delivered his speech, when he released the mission statement of help everybody find a place to work, I was there live for that. And I'm a big Y guy. I'm a Tony guy. I'm a Simon Sinek guy. I'm a big Y. I mean, we know each other. I'm a big Y guy.
Yeah.
But when he gave that speech and released that mission statement and released the principles, I was already Compass poster boy for almost 6-7 years at that point.
Yeah.
But that was just reinvigorating, like the level of passion and connectivity I felt even more so. So kudos there. And today we were just having a conversation with one of our stakeholders, and we were talking about ways to enhance and improve and, level up our marketing. And we're getting ready to post something about a new development. We did a really good job, 6 units, fully in contract within 5 months. And the Instagram post that was being designed was like that. It was like, we crushed it kind of, which, okay, fine. I get why that's important, and let's talk about the whys. Well, we get involved with the developer before they even buy the property to let them know good property, bad property, challenges, whatever. We get involved in the floor. Let's talk about how we treat our developers like family. We never want to see them lose money because let's get into who cares about record price? Okay, fine. People know us for good realtors. We got that. We have that brand. Yeah. Let's now let people into our heart. And so I love that you said that. That happened yesterday, literally yesterday, a 45-minute back and forth, very productive, collaborative conversation on what the messaging should be like.
That will serve you very well in your continued career and growth, Eugene. You stick to that kind of mindset and challenging, you and yourself and your team around that.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, man. Dale Carnegie wrote a book 100 years ago now, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Nothing's changed. You could be the best in the biz, but if you suck, if you're just a jerk, no one's going to want to work with you. Doesn't matter how good you are. We've let people go from the team that were like producers, just didn't conform to culture. We're nice people, I love about Rob. He's got this hard line. Like, if you're not good, if you're not respectful of the Compass staff, doesn't matter how many deals you put on the table, goodbye. That's the right way to be. And so being likable, and the more people know about you, the more they know your why. It's so easy to fall in love with you if you're mission driven. For anyone that's watching this, that's curious about learning more about whys, just look into Simon Sinek. He's probably if I thought of anyone who's like the expert on the power of why, and he spends a lot of time in the space. I actually got to see him and meet him live at one of these meet and greets or whatever. Just a really cool dude. Incredible. All right, Matt. Well, let's help people build their marketing practices. So we kind of organically touched on some of these things. Let's say you're a total marketing rookie. You're afraid of Instagram. Who cares about what I look like? I'm uncomfortable getting on camera. I don't really know what to post. I've never done a newsletter. We're talking total rookie that's got all the stories and the excuses and the fears. How do we move them forward? What's the simplest thing you can do to just get started, just get going, build some momentum?
Well, one I think, Eugene, is you've got to just know a little bit about yourself. You've got to think about what are the things that make you unique.
Right.
Everybody has something, right? Everybody has a passion area, a thing that you like doing, a way that an area, neighborhood that you have some sort of expertise or background in, a reason why you got into business, etc. And so many people in real estate come from other places. They were lawyers before, they were in finance before, etc. And I'm working with a couple agents right now that are combining into a team. in one of our big markets.
Oh, nice.
And I'm helping them with the brand that they're coming together. And the first step before we do anything is like, let's talk about what truly makes you guys stand out.
Right.
What are your differentiators?
Right.
And this is hard for people, right? But like, there are things that are there. You just have to push. And then you have to put that in the mindset of who you want your client to be. Right? Like, write down, who's your ideal client? Who do you want to work with? Right? Are you a mom who's got a big family and you love kids and you connect really closely with moms? Like, then that's your kind of core customer. And like, what are the things that are meaningful for them? So like, before you like go rush and just, I need to make posts and like do things, just take a second and just write this stuff down. Think about, and then ask yourself one question at the end of the process. Do other people say this? Like, is this something if I go into a listing presentation, a pitch meeting, that like I'm going to be different or stand out, that's unique to me?
Yeah.
And it's a little hard. Sometimes it takes, it's uncomfortable, but it is the definitive thing that will allow you to, at any level, especially starting out in the industry, to start to build up who you are in your brand.
Yeah.
And then it starts to get easier about what to post, what to talk about. Like, again, like, hey, I came from finance. I worked at Goldman Sachs for 5 years, and I know everything about that business. That's my network. And so my Instagram is going to be focused on that area. I'm going to give data reports, and I'm going to talk about the market and trades and et cetera. Like, I'm not going to talk about kids and, the playground and the school districts and stuff that matter, right? I'm going to be true to who I am. So that to me is, when you're starting out, the definitive thing that just agents don't do. They just go right to the, like, I got to make something and start making stuff.
Oh, I love that so much. Honestly, one of the major things we teach after, 14 years now of personal business development, everybody's so focused on this task, the stuff, and not the outcome. So it's like, I agree. So first, who do you want to market to? You've got a brand, but part of your brand is who do you want to work with? That's step one. Step one is like, who do you want to target to? The marketing is just the vehicles. So if you got to become the thing that the people you want will be attracted to, the magnet is, so to speak. So that's so spot on, man. And by the way, the primary constraint I tend to see is a lack of confidence or a lack of how can I compete against others. When I first started, I had no idea what marketing or branding was. I mean, I did have a business before that, so I had some, but like certainly not the way we do it today. And my X factor, which actually probably hasn't changed much. It's evolved, but the core hasn't really changed much, was my energy and my effort. I straight up said to people, I just owned it. I'm pretty new in the business, but there's nothing to me. There's no dinners, there's no friends, there's no chilling, there's no drinking. This is who I'm going to be. And although I don't have all the experience, Dan Morello, shout out to Dan, was my first manager. And I was like, I've got a manager that's been in the industry for 15 years. There's nothing you're going to ask me that I can't get the answer of, but I guarantee you this business is about effort, and nobody will give you more energy or more effort. No one's going to outwork me. And that's how not everyone bought that pitch. Yeah. Some people are like, yeah, that's nice, kid. And we want someone that sold 15 properties in our block. Okay, that wasn't my ideal client. But you know what? That's how I started. And then till this day, I think if we were to randomly poll a dozen people, name top 5 Eugene things, energy, passion, some adjective that rhymes with that would be in there. And that became my brand over time. It's just now coupled with, expertise or real estate or, the other things. I would say to the folks that are just getting started, this is what we tend to suggest, and it's right in line with what you're saying. First, think about who you want to attract, and then just decide on 3 pillars that really reflect who you are. So if you're a gym rat, fitness is one of your pillars. If you're a real family person, family, just pick 3 pillars. At least now you know. It's like you're building a library. Now you know. We got drama, we got fiction, we got thriller. Now you know on Monday, and then as you start to navigate the earth, you'll just start to pick things up. Oh, I could post that on Monday. Oh, I could post that on Wednesday. Oh, that's family stuff. It just, you build a momentum that's really easy because there's some infrastructure, just a really easy way to kind of get going. All right, so let's elevate. So let's talk about a team or an individual that marketing is just part of what they do. So let's say us, right? I think we're pretty advanced. Mm-hmm. We've got a show. We put out 100 pieces of content per month in the way of mailer, this show, posts, stories, emails, etc. So I'm not saying let's talk about us, but let's say someone that's got their stuff in order. How would you, if let's say you started to work with them, people get 3 to 4 minutes of Matt's expertise. How do they level up? What's like the next level to someone that's already kind of doing marketing and branding?
I think to me, the big one, and this is probably, I would challenge you too, Eugene, is like looking at the data, understanding clearly where the opportunities are. Are you being real with where you're getting your business from?
Right.
And are you going deeper into the areas that are, you've got the chance to grow 5, 10% rather than chasing after things that are not really going to deliver that? I think that's probably the biggest thing for vets who are doing marketing. Again, this is another thing where I talk to a lot of agents about this, and I ask them, can you show me, recently I was working with an agent and I asked her, hey, can you break down for me your past sales? And she pulled together a report for the last 2 years of all the past sales. And I said, okay, now walk me through the most recent 2 to 3 marketing campaigns she's been doing. Well, one of those 3 campaigns was a thing that she was doing in Brooklyn. She lived and worked on the Upper West Side. 90% of her sales were on the Upper West Side and like Midtown areas, like adjoining, surrounding. And I said, you're wasting your time by like going in this area. What is the upside for you to grow in the Upper West Side? Do you think you're tapped out in that market? Have you reached your max capacity in that area? Instead, you're trying to go to an area that has very little to do with who you are, your brand, your expertise, like, et cetera. And I get it. You sold a listing there and it's like, you see this new potential market, but it's actually a big waste of time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing that I hear. That's also challenging because you want to like, hey, chase after a new thing where it's natural human
shiny
nature.
penny.
But that's probably what I would recommend the most when I talk to vets, people who are doing a lot of marketing, is just really understanding your customer, where it is, and what the upside is if you overinvest in areas that you're doing a little bit of marketing in today.
Oh God, I love that so much. If I was gonna self-assess and be tough for myself, if we invited you in and said, okay, Matt, do me a favor, let's take a day, pick us apart, I bet you'd say you guys are too, and this is what happens to a lot of people, whether they're rookies in marketing or we do a lot of work. We do rentals, we do sales, we do new development, we work with investors, we work with renters, buyers, sellers. We are legitimate everywhere. So every time I have a marketing conversation about let's go deeper. Okay, but deeper where? We love selling condos. We love working with a first-time home buyer. So someone will say to me, what's your niche? And legitimately, we are in all these verticals. And so then to pick, well, which one are we going to market? I always end up in some version of, but we do everything. How do I pick one? So that's real. That's real for the veteran team is, you know what? You pick 1 or 2 or 3. And if you have 100 pieces of content that go out, okay, so maybe 20 are dedicated to development. Then maybe 20 are dedicated to sales or whatever. That's so spot on, man. That's so spot on. And then shiny penny, man, the real estate industry just overall sucks at focus. Like we're just not focused people. It's always shiny penny. What's your target market? It's Manhattan. But I'm talking about this new development in New Jersey. Why? Refer it out, stick to what you know, man. We're just notorious people. We got some celebrities with us. We got Michael Savage. How you doing, bro? We got some of the Refkin family here. Matt, you inspired some celebs to jump on, man. Look at you, dude.
Love it.
All right, one final question. So we got the rookies, we got the vets. I think that was really, really valuable. My biggest advice to everyone would be figure out your niche, even if you do a lot of everything. When you think of Luger's, they have a full menu. No one's going to Luger's for chicken, and they serve chicken.
Right.
They serve chicken, they serve bacon, but you think Luger's, you think steak.
Pretty sure they have restaurants around the world because of their steak, not because they,
That's it. And so be that brand that we specialize in this. We do everything, but we specialize in this. That doesn't take away from the other stuff.
An amazing analogy, because think about all the other steak places. It's not like, no one else can be a huge steakhouse.
That's right.
Right? Like agents are always like, someone else says that, or someone else does this, or it works in this neighborhood. I'm like, so there's everyone's going to do a little bit of everything. If you're the best and you decide that's your focus, you can build your community around that area.
That's it. Even look, I'm going to go sports for 1 second. I'm going to bring us back. There's only one Michael Jordan, and then all of a sudden, Mamba, clone, an absolute clone. Man, for sure. Okay, we got our rookies, we got our veterans. And then to the marketing guru, the person that says this marketing part is a business within a business, they're looking to track, right? Lead gen, ROI, they want to have some metrics and systems in place. Any recommendation of where to start? Like, what are some of the things to think about, or even maybe what is the psychology to take in of the things to think about? You know, you got a Gary Vee that says, ignore all the metrics, just put out great content, which is true. And then the entrepreneurial spirit is like everything's KPIs, critical drivers, you measure what matters, and there's a whole world in between. So for someone that is experienced, what's the psychology and maybe some of the indicators to think about?
To me is one, those teams already have their infrastructure in place, generally, Eugene, right? It's like you can tweak and modify, and like, you know, people walk through, here's our stack that we're working with, right? Analyzing data here, running our CRM here, it's our email. One of the things I try to ask them is, how are you owning the relationships that you have, and building on that ownership? So for example, is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like, you don't own these relationships. The platform owns them. The platform's making money off of your need to like foster that. But there's many ways, many platforms, and email is one of the most powerful, where you can create, and you know, tons of brands around this. Think Substack. There's a new company called Beehive, which is really fantastic at this, where they're treating entrepreneurship through that lens as a business. So like, if you have a community, it builds and helps you monetize those people because you own that relationship. And this is something I just don't think a lot of people think about, like in real estate, right? They're like, I want to get as many followers over here. Well, like, great. Instagram is now forcing you to pay to access those followers, right? You want to have them in a place where you can engage with them, talk to them, do things with them where you don't have to pay.
Right.
And as you get bigger for elite marketers, and you start having huge audiences, and this is also something to challenge yourself around, because you're in this category, I think, Eugene, right? You've got a lot of systems in place. What percentage of your audience are you really owning? What percentage of time are you spending on areas where you fully own the communication with those people? And then how are you thinking about them, that community, and that as a business and a business owner? Because I think there's loads of other ways over time when you start to build up expertise that you've done, right? That allows you to think bigger about it from there. So that's one thing, of course. And then just the top tier goals, I think, from a marketing perspective, revisiting them every 6 months and really sitting down and having a deep analysis at the 6-month mark of the business in the past. That's nothing. Just people are like, hey, we end the year, we did our like 12-month plan and we're going, you know. But there's very few times, even big teams, do I see people take full stock and really look through everything and make, you know, tough calls and tough changes. Like, hey, last 6 months, this wasn't really working. Or like, did we see any signals from this campaign that was working? Do we want to modify? Do we want to change? I think just, you know, I'd encourage more like quarterly, but at the minimum, 6 month.
I love that.
Make it an off-site day, find a fun place, get the team together, but spend it only on marketing your brand every 6 months, one full day.
God, I love that so much. Yeah, man, for us, we obviously track unsubscribe and open rate around email. We obviously track engagement around social media. But actually, our number one company goal every single year is how many opportunities are we creating from our database, returns, referrals, etc. And what's the correlation between the two for exactly that reason. Like, you know, whether if you're a team that's really built right now on Zillow or these third-party leads, and you're paying these crazy referral fees, that's fine as an investment to the relationship, as long as then you're keeping and nurturing the relationship. If you just build your whole business around these leads, well, you're just operating your margins are just damaged, you know?
That's right.
So similarly, that's so good. Matt, thank you so much for your time. A, any final tips? And B, how do people find you? Do you want people to reach out to you with anything? This is sort of your 60 seconds for whatever you want to leave us with. I'm so grateful for your time and your wisdom, man. I love you as a brother. Thank you so much. What do you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I'm still, like I said, working with a few key agents. You know, feel free to reach out to me if you're looking to up-level your marketing. I do have a course. I've done one that lasted March. I'll be doing another one on a brand new platform. I'm really going in a different direction. I want to do shorter ones that are easier and less expensive, and also build the bigger ones that are more in depth. But I learned a lot from the last one. So something this fall coming up soon. So follow me, and please DM me, reach out, share Compass memories, share thoughts, and always love hearing information.
Yeah, man. If you can't find it, just email me, DM me, and I'll connect you guys. Matt, love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Gene, so
Have
good
a
to
great
see you,
week.
man.
Have a great weekend.
Congrats, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, man. See ya. Bye-bye.